Welcome to Joe Blow.
Real, raw, unfiltered conversations with everyday legends who've got extraordinary stories to tell. Let's get it. Welcome to Joe Blow.
Okay, welcome to Joe Blow. This is our episode 6, Yops, in total. We had one disaster. Don't talk about it.
What was the disaster? Please tell.
This is not about me. He said he's going to break me. He said, I want to interview you because I'm going to break you.
Yeah, I feel like you asked us a deep question in terms of what you'd tell 18-year-old us, what we'd tell our 18-year-old self. What would you tell your 18-year-old
Yes,
self?
great question.
Let's start off with that today.
Ooh. What I would say would be 18-year-old, that's like 1934. No, you know what I would do? I would tell myself, stop partying, don't do drugs, forget about women. I wasted so much time on partying, drugs, alcohol, and women in the search for finding your true love and that sort of shit while I was out of it. I just wasted so much time. I wish I'd gone back and I'd say, fucking do everything for you. Like learn, develop. We didn't have podcasts back then. You had to go to Macquarie Library and bring out a textbook. So it's not as easy as the generation now, but I just wasted too much time. I just wish I say to my kids, Emerson said to me, what would you do different, Dad? And I'd say, just stop partying. Like I get, some people go, but it's who you are today and everything else. But no, it's just disappointing. I would rather just develop myself and become a beast.
A beast.
Bit
A
like Johnny.
beast.
Like Johnny.
Johnny's got issues. All right, welcome. Thank you for that, Katie. Raw, uncut. That's the one Yops has been waiting to ask. He's missed out now. No crying. Welcome to episode 3 of the Two Champions, High Rocks Worlds. Last week was really good. It comes out today. We put a short out today, and that one of Katie. Far out. I had so many. Well, you know what? We've doubled our subscribers.
Anything that Katie does, it just goes viral. Anything that I do, it's just like crickets.
No, but it's, you know what's interesting? I have 2 questions from our subscribers
Okay, great.
this week. And, well, there's 3.
It's
but
just you and Yops.
Mum was really happy. She said, boss only swore 2 times. No, there was actually, I had 3 questions, but 2. And one was for Katie and one was for John. This is really interesting. So I'll start with you, Johnny, because we always start with Katie. Katie's a bit emotional these days. Someone called you the Iceman. And they said, Johnny's a bit of an Iceman. He's really calculated. And they were asking about your 40%. So I guess they were trying to find, you're a bit of an Iceman, but you have this 40% of my life is just turmoil or in your head, tough. What makes up that 40% and what sort of keeps you up at night?
It's interesting, the word Iceman. I think perhaps I'm not afraid to be vulnerable, and I'm not saying that to give myself a pat on the back, but I think that's probably one of my unique qualities is like I'm not afraid to do that around the majority of people, which may give me the Iceman, I don't know, perception. But I mean, it's a tough question then to ask, what is the 40% off the back of that?
We'll put that aside. What is your 40%? What sort of keeps you up? What are all the issues in your life that make up this massive 40% figure?
Yeah, so I think there's like the reality of owning a business and the stresses and anxieties that go into that. That can rip you open and show every sort of vulnerability and weakness to yourself and to others. So things like the anxieties of cash flow in a business, just through, standard everyday, and then like you've got the ups and downs of market forces or like stuff like COVID. Like say for this week, for instance, like we've had tariffs, and like for us, 35% of our market is in the US. and we manufacture predominantly in China. So, you know, within the last week, it's, you know, you've got this sudden realization of, holy fuck, our customers in the US are just about to be slugged 104% from a direct-to-consumer perspective. Now, you know, there's, you know, not that there's necessarily options galore at the moment to get around that, but it's, you get to a stage where you just roll with it. And I guess you've got to be calculated. You've got to be, you know, you can't let it affect you too much. So that might come across as being calculated, or, you know, I just guess, you know, the other option is just running around with your head cut off or just like screaming because 35% of your market is just about to be lost. Or you kind of take, you know, the glass is half full approach and just go, okay, like, cooler heads are going to prevail, because if, you know, ultimately the biggest consumer in the world is just about to block off, you know, their biggest trading partner, then the whole world is fucked. So you've got to assume that that's not going to happen. And then, okay, if that's not going to happen long term, then what are our strategies, you know, talking with factories. So I guess there's like a lot that goes on. What I'm trying to say is there's a lot that go on in each week that causes a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. And that does make up the 40%, a large portion of that 40%. But where I guess I've been kind of alluding to over the last couple of weeks is, rather than necessarily letting that overcome me and get me down, where I would almost catastrophize that all the time, I'm getting better at taking that glasses half full approach and going, okay, right, let's just roll with it. It sucks, but what are the strategies out of here? What's the potential? What are the opportunities? Those sort of things. So, not sure if that directly answers your question, but a lot of the part is business, and then I'd say the rest of it is like personal anxieties. You know, relationships. I've got a wonderful wife, wonderful family, but like best of times, excuse me, that's also stressful, and that is a roller coaster in itself. One that I'm getting better at, that I'm getting prouder at myself at, but that has been a massive learning curve as well.
Have you ever been at 80%, given you've had the business a fair while now?
I don't think so. No. I'm not an extrovert, surprise. And I've never been someone that would have, you know, done well on a race and then just gone on a massive bender for a week and put in their Instagram profile 3-time High Rocks world champ or something like that. I kind of go from one day to the next, and like it's okay, I've done that. Where can I get better? Or what did I do wrong? And that's always been my approach. And I think it's very similar to a lot of athletes. A lot of athletes wouldn't put 3 times world champs in their bio. So, you know, that's kind of who I've been for my whole life.
Sounds like a tragic life to me. 3 times. You've only done one. And a do not start.
Yeah,
DNS.
DNS. Yeah.
You could put that in your profile.
I thought you were going to break me today.
No, I'm going to break you. Don't worry. It's coming. But it's not all about you, Johnny. Johnny wants his own podcast. He actually spoke to me. He said, do you reckon we could do a business podcast? I said, yeah, that'd be very exciting, Johnny. People would love to hear that. Katie, we had a question for you.
Why are you so emotional?
No. Why are you such a sook? Your dating life. Is it non-existent? Confirm or deny? That was the question I got.
No, it's existent.
It's existent.
Yeah.
Okay.
I go on dates.
Yeah, and that's my next question.
Who was it?
Do you like older men? No, so you go on dates. It was about your dating life. People wanted. Well, one man wanted to know. Chris Hemsworth was asking. So you go on dates. Do you meet most of the people in the gym, or do you do dating apps?
Wow, we're getting really...
Well, I don't want you to cry again this week. I'm trying to make it a bit more upbeat.
It was you that was closest to crying last week. All of it, like, yeah, I'm on dating apps, but through social media, through friends, through the gym, you sort of... I would prefer to meet people organically, but I feel like I spend so much time in the same gyms at the same work that a lot of the time I'm not out there. I'm not sitting at a bar, and I wouldn't like to meet someone at a bar either. That a lot of the time I'm just at the same places, so I don't meet new people. So that's where dating apps, I guess, are quite good. And that aspect is that you can find and meet new people, and you can be completely honest at the start in terms of what your interests are. And you're not going out, just going to a bar and meeting someone when you're drunk and wasted, which, I mean, previously I did when I was younger.
I think that's how Yops met his wife. He was drunk at party, weren't you? Was it partying or something? Oh, it's not about him. Do you want to tell us about your last date? Where did you go?
No.
You don't want to tell us. It's
No, last date. I think my last date would have been to Yochi, actually.
Really?
Yeah, but I don't.
That wasn't a
enjoy
date.
Yochi.
We just went to Yochi. Oh, was it a?
Oh,
Was it a? Oh.
yeah. Man, read the symbols.
Do you
signals.
do you think you're?
He's never been good at that ever.
Do you think you're single because you train too much, or you train too much because you're single?
I think it's a bit of both.
Mm.
I think it comes hand in hand. I train more because I've got more time, because I don't have someone that I need to be, that I'm going, like I need to be home to see. Thanks. Yeah, I don't have someone that I need to be home to see all the time, and I don't have that regular person, so I do have more free time, so I do train more. But then on the other side of things, I think I don't meet anyone because I just spend more time training, and I don't prioritize going out dating and everything like that. And it's my comfort zone too. Like I don't know who is comfortable going out on first and second and third dates. Like it's not a hugely comfortable and exciting thing to be doing. Maybe for you, but I'd feel more comfortable being in full control, being at the gym and doing what I really enjoy doing and thrive, and know that I know for sure that I'm moving forward or moving the needle. Whereas on a date, you could just be spinning your wheels and not actually meeting someone that you're going to spend the rest of their life with, which is more often than not.
Also, can I just say, who the fuck cares? Like, I mean, from my I've got a young daughter, 6 years old, and she was looking at Katie's profile the other day on my phone with Kelly, and she's like, what a strong woman. And you see like through all the comments of like Katie's posts, it's like everyone is like just admiring Katie as this strong, confident person. Like, who the fuck cares if you're dating? Like, your life shouldn't revolve around that. I know it's a very like kind of shallow thing to say, but I don't know.
You're married.
We just need more women like Katie, not these like influencers that get around with their out, flaunting it.
That's a great segue. I'll leave Katie's love. I did have another love question, but I'll leave it. That's a great segue. Thank you, Johnny.
No worries.
I want to talk about both of your social media accounts. Why the fuck do you post your workouts? Is it, and I'll get to you, Johnny, because yours is a different one. Why do you post your workouts? Like, is it ego validation? Do you want to show everyone how fit you are? Like, why do you post all your workouts? Who wants to go first?
Mine's pretty simple because I didn't post for 3 years up until the last 2 months.
I will get to that though. But why are you posting?
So for me, the last time I posted prior to this journey was when my dad passed away. So just to bring the conversation down another level, which is what I'm good at. That was back in 2022. And through no particular reason, I just felt like, and even beforehand, I wasn't exactly the most active person on there, but I saw it as like a very superficial outlet. It also had become quite a toxic experience for me with this business, where everything was like kind of this kind of self-gratification thing that I just wasn't aligned with. And then, I could probably thank Yops for this as someone that was very encouraging of me to kind of put myself out there and get outside my comfort zone a little bit. And so that was kind of the primary stimulus for what I'm doing at the moment. And I'm trying to post, every second day and at least do something from that respect. And one of the unique experiences that I've had in the last few weeks since I've been doing it is that it's actually, it's forced me to look at the day from a little bit more of a positive perspective, where I could easily go through a day, obviously do a couple of hours training, do a whole day at work. Obviously, there's family stuff in there, and it just goes from one day to the next. And you don't really give yourself any kind of pat on the back for it. You sure as hell don't get it from anyone else. And it's just been a nice experience just to go, you know what, like there's something that I've actually done from the day. You know, I actually give no shit about, you know, who's commenting or who's liking. I probably don't even reply to them anyway. But just from my own perspective, it's been a really nice experience doing that.
Mm. Katie?
I probably have, there's probably two parts in terms of why I post. One, and more so than the other, is that it's when I get comments like Johnny in terms of his daughter and seeing, inspiring other people to go out and exercise, and that it is possible, especially from a female perspective, and that I have a career. It's inspiring other people to do hard things, and that it's possible that you can progress, you can achieve goals, and whether it be that they go to the gym or that they go out for a run, or even that they get the idea that they can do things in their brain, it's just to try and inspire people. And that gives me so much fire and lights that fire for me to go and do that when I hear comments and responses from people. And I even just walking into the coffee shop before to come here, I had comments and hear people responding to what I'm doing training wise, and it just inspires me to do it more. And it makes me happy that I've inspired someone. The other side of it is, I think, and this is being completely vulnerable and open, is that side of things in terms of being noticed, and potentially there is that small part of me that likes to have a bit of a comment and gets that response from people, and just be like, gets a response that what I've done is hard, or like, that's awesome that you've done that, and it's sort of to get that gratification almost. I don't think that's the right word, but to get some sort of response from people is that other side of things.
Because some of your stuff's quite sort of sexy and like bikini, hot body, here am I. And I mean, I love it, but what's the deal with that? Is that you going back to what you spoke about last week about being loved, or is it you to trap a partner? Maybe is it part of your dating profile?
I reckon, and this is again going to get really deep, it probably comes back to that I have got significant body dysmorphia issues. I've been bulimic when I was a lot younger. I don't look at my body, or I haven't looked at my body all the time that I love it and that I'm happy in my skin and all of that. And so I think that potentially that putting those sort of images out gets me a response that then makes me feel better about myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. Johnny, how come you don't post your bad days? Like your 40%ers, you're always posting, look at me, I'm an amazing athlete. Why don't you get on and talk about your business and stuff like that?
I think before I answer that question, I'd love to get to the end of this 12 weeks and for you to reframe that question, not to single you out. I just think it's why do you post that way? I understand where it's coming from. I just think like good on you for doing what you're doing. And I'm not just saying it because you're sitting next to me, but as a father of two daughters and boss, I know that you've got a daughter. I just think it's we should be encouraging way more people like Katie to be doing what she's doing. Like, fuck yeah, like be proud of like what you're doing. And I'm like I know that Katie said there might be a little bit of self-gratification in there, but I think primarily she's doing it because she's proud of the sessions that she's doing, right? And in turn, she's inspiring people like my daughter and people in the gym to do what they're doing. And I think we just need more people like that. Like, I am so fucking over this influencer. Like, they've got, no capability, like, athletically. They're pompous. They're transient in terms of the sports that they're doing. They're not going to be there in 2 years' time. So fuck off. Yeah. You're not the people that should be having our attention. People like Katie should be having our attention. People like my wife, who plays ice hockey, they should be getting the attention, right? I don't know. That's just something that I've found over the last couple of years that I've just been like, with a growing daughter and seeing the world that she's growing up in. It's just like, it just triggers me a little bit.
I totally agree with that, because I hate when you look on social media and these influencers that wouldn't know a hard session from the next one, but they get thousands and millions of likes and have so many people following them and buying all their products. But it's like, actually, do you know what a hard session and what a hard workout is
Yeah.
but they don't, and they don't put in the hard work. And yeah, that's 100% is. I want people to see the hard work that I'm putting in, because I am proud of those sessions that I'm in a dark place and I get through them, and
Yeah.
I'm so proud of myself.
I love it. Finally, Johnny, you cracked.
That
I
was
love
good.
it. That was
Really
good,
liked
Johnny. I love it.
What was your
That's-
question, though?
I can't remember. Doesn't matter. Let's
It's like-
move on. No, it was
Something about like posting about work and the
no,
other
no.
stuff.
Look, you made that point was just fantastic, and I'm glad finally we got a bit of passion out of you. Fuck, it took a while. 3 weeks, Yops. The podcast is over. We're done. Our job's done.
I thought you were about to walk out. I was like, get the fuck off my podcast.
no. The idea is to try and get you to crack, and that was perfect. No, on your point, everyone posts all the great stuff.
Yep.
I've never seen anyone post anything bad like, fuck, I just couldn't get up this morning, couldn't get to the
Yep.
gym. And why don't you post any of your bad stuff?
Well, I feel like I've been trying to do a little bit of that. Like, I mean, like I'm trying to take the piss out of myself, like, because many of the exercises in the gym, I look like a spastic, and sorry if that's inappropriate to use, but
Beep.
whether it's any sort of lifts or CrossFit moves, like I look terrible. And I want to do a little bit more of that. But on the same token, I get a lot of people going, fuck, you talk down about yourself all the time. So I think but I do like taking the piss out of myself a little bit.
It's
I mean-
more, I guess, talking about the days that it was hell and I couldn't get through it.
Well, one thing that I pride myself in, so there's probably a couple parts of this answer. So it's both from an athletic perspective and then work. But from an athletic perspective, one thing that I pride myself in is that I'm consistent. Like I can back up. And like you've got a lot of, especially in a gym environment, you've got a lot of show ponies that rock up and just, they think that they're the fucking hero because they can deadlift 160 or bench whatever the fuck they can, but then they won't show up for 3 days, or they'll skip, the run component of the workout or whatever. Whereas like, and this goes back to my triathlon days, like it's obviously consistent volume of work is the best way to get results. And that's what I focus on with my training, and I pride myself on. From the work perspective, this has been something that I've been grappling with, speaking to Yops about. In some way I'd love to document like what I do from a day-to-day perspective, but so much of it is just boring as batshit. Like,
I guess it's more the mental side that I'd be interested in. I think people would be interested in, not all our lives would be boring to document, but just those days where you're training, but you've got this 40% turmoil in your head of tariffs and everything else. And
yeah, it's just how I document that, right? Like, what do you do? Like a vlog or... I've often thought about, doing not like a blog / diary of like, this is the shit that's been happening every day, like, and writing it rather than like doing this kind of...
it could be
Beast
something
to
you
come
could
up.
incorporate into your training workout, though. I don't know if it's a summary at the start or the end,
Yeah.
but anyway. If Katie was injured and she couldn't train for 6 months, what's that Katie like? And where does she put her energy? Maybe then she jumps on the apps and dates 50 times. Katie's injured for 6 months. I don't know if it's happened to you.
No.
What's Katie like? No training for 6 months. What does she do?
Well, I reckon that if you ask me the question around my battery and what my life would be, I'd be unhappy. I would be 20% happy, 80% unhappy, because the joy and just what training brings me into my life, and exercising and being outside, whether it be outside going for a walk or a run or in the gym, just the amount that training brings to my life, and I know that it then feeds into more of my life, is so significant that I know that I'd be so unhappy if I couldn't exercise and train because of an injury. I think that the other side of my life, so my career would I put some time into work again. And I know that I'd just throw myself into work and spend more time there. I'd be I wouldn't look the same, that's for sure. I'd put on a lot of weight, I reckon, because I know that when you're not training, I just naturally eat more because you're not doing as much. So I just think that my life would be so different and I'd be so unhappy.
What about you, Johnny?
Yeah, I'd be similar. Training is such like a part of my routine. The days that I can't, like, so at the moment, like if Miller, our youngest, is, not sleeping and I miss a session in the morning, yesterday happened, it really kind of affects me psychologically. Like it makes me anxious. Like I'll eventually get it done during the day, but it's part of my routine. It's part of my social network. It just puts me off balance. So, definitely my battery would be lower, for sure. I've, from a body perspective, like I don't necessarily have body dysmorphia, but it definitely would be something that I would be conscious of. I don't exactly stack on weight easily, but I could very much just look like a standard dad, more than I normally do. So yeah.
All right, last one. We've got to go. Highlight of your life. Don't include your kids and your wife.
Oh.
Give me one highlight of your life. Do you want to think about it?
Yeah.
We'll give you guys a minute. You got a minute. Highlight of your life. You can't, no family, no kids. Yops, what would yours be? No kids, no family, highlight of your life. Representing his country in badminton. That's cool. I represented my country too. I represented Austria and Australia. Can we talk about me for a little bit? I represented. You guys keep
Please
thinking.
don't.
Tell me when you're ready.
You're about to tell us that you've done the big five.
I've done the big five. No, I represented Austria and Australia.
The big five that no one has ever heard of.
No,
together.
That's a big thing back in Austria in the 90s. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Jonathan.
I'm still struggling here.
Oh, Katie. What about meeting me?
Oh, low light.
We'll get to low light. Johnny, give me one.
This is a tough one because family, trying to answer this question without family is obviously discrediting everything. So like family would be the top five for sure. But when I finished my physio degree, at the end of my physio degree, I got to do my final placement in Nepal. And I was there for 2 to 3 months, working at a public hospital there, in a place called Pokhara, which is at the foot of the Annapurna region. Anyone that's been there, there's a big walk called the Annapurna Circuit, which basically Pokhara is at sea level, and as the crow flies, within like 8 kilometers, you've got these 6 or 7 peaks above 7,000 meters. It's totally like a pure like mind fuck. And on Christmas Day, so I did this, it was at the end of my trip, and on Christmas Day, I ran the Annapurna Circuit backwards, which is 140 kilometers, but you go over the highest pass in the world.
Of course he did.
At 5,500 meters. And on Christmas Day, so you don't run it in one, like you do it in 5, I did in 5 or 6 days. But on Christmas Day, I was at 5,500 meters at this place called something pass. I should know this. Pretty altitude sick, but just overlooking at 5,500 meters, overlooking this valley that just drops down, and then you've got like these 8,000 meter peaks just either side through a valley. I left my phone in this tea hut, which was had all my photos on it. But that's kind of the good thing, right? Because all those memories are all stored in your mind. So yeah, that was something that I almost think about every day.
Phenomenal. Amazing. Katie Brock, highlight of your life.
Mine's not that cool. Mine's completely different. I think the highlight of my life, and it almost would have been... Sorry, phone call.
Who's Jeff?
Boyfriend.
Mm.
It's completely different. So it will be a highlight, and it was almost a low light. Was a point almost 18 months ago when I left my job at the time, which I'd been at since I moved to Australia. And the point that I left was I call it a highlight because it allowed me to reflect on how much I'd been able to achieve in my life and what I'd been able to do myself through my career. So I got myself to a point that I was within a year of becoming a partner in an accounting firm, but I was given the opportunity to walk away and sort of step into a CFO finance role at a startup tech firm. And so it allowed me, it was a highlight because I could look on it and be like, I've taken myself from being like a graduate accountant and not really knowing anything, moved to another country and built this career for myself within 7 years. And I was able to do that all on my own without any help from anyone, pretty much, and just did it. And so it was a highlight because I was so proud of myself and what I've been able to do from an academic perspective when I don't see myself as much of an academic or have that sort of side of me. I'm normally have previously seen myself as sort of a sports person. Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you, you two. This has been getting better and better every week. We even got Johnny fired up.
No, we did. This week, I reckon, was good progress there.
That was good progress for
We
Johnny.
are going to break you.
We're going to break you, Johnny. We did break you. That was good, guys. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in a week.